name is Hughes. I'm the facility manager and head tennis pro at the Lebanon Tennis Center in Pittsburgh, PA. This particular facility is the largest in number of courts, number of tennis courts in the state of Pennsylvania. We have 15 clay court tennis courts, 6 of which go under bubble to make it a year-round facility. I grew up in Keysburg, Pennsylvania. I graduated from that high school in 1971. I was actually a music major in college. I was a terrific trumpet player and still am. I went to Muskegon College in Ohio, got an education degree, music education degree. I taught school for 2 years in Ohio. I played high school basketball and a little bit of tennis. When I got to college, I went out for the basketball team. I said, "You're a great player, but you're too short, too small." I started playing tennis and fell in love with it. I've been playing ever since. That'd be 1975. After I taught school for 2 years, I lost my job to attrition, got married, moved back to Pittsburgh, and continued to play tennis. I had a very varied variety of jobs. I taught ballroom dancing. I was a DJ for many years. And my uncle became the manager at a tennis club about 25 minutes from here. He asked me to come start teaching. That was in January of '92, and that's how I got involved in the teaching of this sport. When I was a young kid, I played basketball day in, day out. I remember I wanted a pair of Chuck Taylor tennis shoes. They were really expensive, $10 back in 68 or 69. We went and bought them on a Friday. On Saturday, I played all day, basketball all day. On Sunday, I came home and said, "Mom, there's a hole in my shoe." 2 days, I wore out a pair of Chuck Taylor basketball sneakers. She said, "Don't tell your father." And then we went and bought the cheap stuff. And I always been playing sports. I played basketball, I played racquetball, volleyball, and I've always just been a pretty good athlete, actually. My family were all good athletes. I have an uncle, the one who originally got me involved in this sport. He played in the NBA for 3 years. He rode the bench mostly, but he was a professional basketball player. Well, when the person that was retiring from this facility, I had no inclination whatsoever to apply for this job. I was making about $45,000 a year teaching at a private club. It was a fun job. I loved it. My immediate supervisor said, "You should apply for the job in Mount Lebanon because that guy's retiring. You're the perfect fit. You had a string, you run tournaments, you're a clay court expert." And I said, "Well, why would I do that? It's so fun here, working here." He said, "They have 15 courts, we have 6. You could triple or quadruple your income. You should definitely do that." So the day before the applications closed, I redid my resume. I was 52 years old. I spent a couple hours on Word, did it. I showed it to my wife in the morning, and she said, Who did that resume?" I said, "I did." She said, "You're a 5-year-old. You did that?" I said, "Yes." She said, "You're going to get the job." And I was interviewed by the mayor, the recreation director, the assistant mayor. And after maybe 6 weeks, they said, "You're our leading candidate. Do you want to come talk about the compensation package more in detail?" I did. Talked to the recreation director. I went back to the people I was working for and showed them. They said, "It's been nice working with you." My wife, when she got home, that Thursday, when they called me and said, "You're our leading candidate. Can you come talk about the compensation package?" I was on my deck grilling a hamburger. I sat down on my deck and I started to cry. I was at that place for 15 years, and now I'm going to change jobs at 53 years old. When my wife came home, she looked at me and said, "They offered you the job. I could tell by looking at your face." And so I took the job and started here on October 23rd of 2007. My wife has been super encouraging. She doesn't mind being a tennis pro's wife. There's odd hours. I'm here sometimes till 7 or 8 at night. I do have a day off, Tuesdays, which I go babysit my grandkids. And my wife is super encouraging for me to be here, which is now 16 years. And these domes, of which there are 3 of them with 2 courts in each dome, were the first indoor tennis domes in Pittsburgh. They were first one was erected in 1967. They now have 3 of them. We had a celebration in 2017 for 50 years of bubbles in Mount Lebanon. It was a pretty big deal, actually. The Indoor Tennis Association is the one that owns and runs these bubbles. I buy time in the bubbles for private lessons and all the clinics that I run, but I don't really run the tennis center while the bubbles are in Force. They're run by a nonprofit 501c4 group called Indoor Tennis for Mount Lebanon. I am in charge of this facility from May 1st to September 30th. I hire staff. I have 9 other pros besides me, 10 cashiers, 10 maintenance kids. We're 30 people whose schedules I'm in charge of. And even now, I'm very much involved in helping run the facility. We have 8 or 10 tournaments I run every year in the summer. We have a pro event. It's known throughout the country, actually, as it's kind of cool because 9 of the courts are on one level. Then you go up a hill and there's 3 more courts, and then on top of the hill, there's another 3. All the 2-court enclosures are lit, so we have 10 courts that are lit at night, and during the summer, we're open till 10 at night. I would say becoming the tournament director for the pro event, which is a very big deal. It's not many people get the chance to do this. In 2010, I was on a team that won locally in this district. It was a mixed doubles team, men and women. And then we went to the sectional championship in the middle of the state, and we won that. And then we went to the national championship, which was in Las Vegas, and we played terrific there. We didn't win it, but we made a lot of friends. And that, as a player, was my highest achievement, to get to the national championship for the USTA, of which I've been a volunteer for over 30 years. The pro event, one kind of cool thing about that is any pro event tournament director gets 2 tickets to the US Open in New York. I just have to get there. And that's like a 10-hour drive. I've been there a number of times. That's one kind of perk for being a pro tournament director. My daughter is my greatest personal achievement. Her name is Jackie. She was named after my grandfather, whose name was Jack Kelly. So we did not find out the gender of the baby when it was born. It was either going to be Jack Kelly Hughes or Jacqueline Kelly Hughes. So it was a girl, it was Jacqueline Kelly. She started playing tennis when she was 7. She took to it like a duck to water. She played at a super high level, D1 college tennis. I didn't have to pay anything for her college education. We tried the pro tour for about 6 or 7 months, kind of the under tour, like the pro circuit event that I run. And after maybe 4 or 5 tournaments, she said, "Dad, I'm just not fast enough. What happened to me? You are so fast. Why come I'm not fast?" I said, "Ask your mom, honey. I did what I could." When she was 17, we went to a girls 18 and under tournament in Kentucky. I didn't even take her at the beginning. She went with another family. And I had to go because she kept winning and winning and winning. And she got to the finals of this national tournament. She lost in the finals. And there's all these college coaches around. And I'm like, "Where are you? Where's McKee's wife?" It's in Pittsburgh. She goes, "When your daughter's old enough to contact us, please have her get in touch with us because we would love to have her on our team." When we got done with that tournament, she got in the car. I said, "Honey, you're going to get money for college." And she said, "No way." I'm like, "Those coaches are all Big Ten, Ohio State, Kentucky, Penn State, Michigan." And I said, "You're my idol. You played so well. It's amazing." And she said, "Dad, my ears hurt. I'm so tired. Just go home." So she still to this day plays tennis. She's 37, has 2 children. And her 5-year-old I started teaching maybe a month ago, and she's going to be just as good as her mother. Her name is Sloan. She loves it. She runs over and says, "Pap, pap," and we start to play. We do it for about a half hour. I've raised 3 daughters. My last name is no longer going to be with my daughters. They all have different last names. So I guess a legacy would be that I helped people. I was friendly. I did my job to the best of my ability. And that my family looks at me as someone who is a professional person that loves what they do. It's a game. Yes, I do have to do payroll and hire people and occasionally fire people, but the actual on-court stuff for me is so much fun. I have kids that I have taught that are on the world tour. They're in college playing tennis. Again, I speak to my daughter as I have so much experience with her. And so I guess the legacy for me would be that my family appreciated what I've done for them and how much I've learned from them also. There's a book called Outliers, and the premise of the book, which I've read twice, is if you want to become something, a hockey player, a videographer, a tennis pro, an airline pilot, you have to do 10,000 hours of that before you can become the boss or the head pro. And when I was working at Glen Creek Tennis Club, I was there every day for 6 or 7 hours learning what to do. If I hadn't worked there, there's no way I could be the head pro here. So to a person getting started, what I would, in any business, and if you're going to be a tennis pro, is listen to the person that's running the facility, listen and learn. I'm certified by the USPTA at the highest level. You want to do the insurance, you want to do everything you can to get certified, because when people look at someone who's going to get hired, they want to see that you have the credentials to become what they're looking for. And so, again, as a person who's going to get started in any business, listen to the people that are around you, especially ones that know what they're doing. I was lucky that when I started Glen Creek, the people around me were so professional that when I first started, I didn't say a word to anybody. When I was teaching, I just listened to them, and I came up with some other ideas. And so it was good to just listen and take what they're doing and then put my own personality to it. Part of my misspent youth, I was a DJ. I have been contacted by probably 20 people who I taught tennis, said, "Hey, can you DJ my wedding?" And I'm like, "Aren't you 10? And she goes, "No, I'm 28. I have my master's degree from CMU and I'm getting married. Can you come do it?" And so that's kind of a cool thing that those people remember me as someone who just did the best they could and helped the people that I was around at the time. Being contacted by Who's Who in America that as a Lifetime Achievement Award is something I was flabbergasted when it happened, because in the Wall Street Journal last summer when I was in there, the people that my picture was around, they're like rocket scientists and presidents of colleges and that type of thing, and I never looked at myself as someone who was important enough to get an award like that. And yes, I've been doing this since '92. It's coming up, I guess it's 30 years now. And as a Lifetime Achievement Award, when you're doing what you're doing, you never think that you're providing a legacy. It just never even occurred to me. I don't have a very big ego. I don't expect my employees, we're like co-workers. I'm like their boss, do this, do that. That's not me. My personality is, let's work together, we'll figure it out. I have been awarded, separate from Who's Who in America, I've been Tournament Director of the Year in the state of Pennsylvania. We run a Serve to Cure tournament. I've been the official for that, and they love it. It's really fun. Every 2 years there's a banquet we have for people inducted into the local Hall of Fame for USTA, which I'm in. So there are other awards, but Who's Who in America is being awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award is probably the pinnacle of the awards that I have been given.